Today's video, we are focusing on fundamentals in Java output. I have NetBeans open on the screen. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to start with line 11. This is a simple print line statement in Java, and it prints any kind of sentence that you want to the screen. System is a part of the API. If you don't know what the API is, it's application programmer interface. And what that is, it's a standard library of pre-written classes that have a bunch of objects in it, and then those objects do certain things. So system is a part of the API, and it's one of those pre-written classes. And in system, there is an object named out. And this out is focused on displaying information to the screen. As you can see, out with output. And out has a method called println, or println, as you can say. And all that does is it prints something to the screen. So that's the hard way to explain it. I'm going to explain it in an easier way so you can wrap your head around it and fully understand it. Just imagine a classroom named System, and in this classroom there are 30 students and they're separated by rows. Well, the first student is named Out, and Out has a bunch of behaviors that are different from the other students, just like in a regular classroom. So there's no teacher in the class system, and we want to call on Out. So in order to call an out, we use what we call a dot operator. So if you type a period or a dot, it shows all the students or the objects in that class. So we want to call on out. So we'll type out, and now out has different behaviors, and he loves to talk. So he wants to output something to the screen, but we have to tell him what to do. Out doesn't have a brain of its own. So same thing, we want to call that certain function println. So we do the dot operator again, and now these are all the behaviors that out has. So we just want to simply println. So we'll type that in, and he has a bunch of behaviors, but we want this one right here. Now it gets us to it like this. And now we want out to say, hey, I'm out, what's up? And now he will output that to the screen. And if I run it real quick, I'll show you. You can see here, he says, hey, I'm out, what's up? So that's the basic way to explain it. I hope that helps. And I will explain the parameter or the argument. So inside these parentheses is this whole highlighted area is actually a method. So inside the parentheses is what we call a parameter or an argument. Now, if we want to do a sentence, then we need to put it in quotations. There are other, you can print variables and numbers, but that'll be explained later. So any kind of sentence, you just want to put it in quotations so that the method knows it's a sentence and it'll print that out. We'll skip down to line 15. We have the same exact statement, except for this time there is no quotations. And basically that just prints a blank line. And if we go back to the output, we can see here that this is the blank line. So we will skip to line 18 now. And so this prints a sentence to the screen without a new line. As you can tell, what's different is there's no ln at the end, which is meant for line. So this is just going to print, and that's it. So this is on two separate lines, but it's going to print on the same line. So we'll go back to the output, and then time to focus. So if we add the ln, all that will do is going to separate those lines. So it's going to say time to, then go to the next line and say focus. Time to focus. Pretty basic stuff. So our first focus moment in the video, you have to understand how the cursor moves with print and print line. So with print, it doesn't automatically create a new line under it. So what happens here, if you follow along on line 18, after you print time 2, the cursor will be exactly where it is right now. And now when it goes to the next line and it reads it in and it executes line 19, the cursor will be right here and focus will print right there. So just like in the output, time 2 and then focus will print after. If we put ln on the first line, now what that says is the cursor will automatically create a new line for you. So it's going to move all the way down to here, and it's going to create focus right there. So if we run it real quick and show you the output, it does what I said, time to, and then it creates that new line for focus. Basic stuff, but the simple stuff can be kind of hard to wrap your head around. Once again, this just prints 2 blank lines to make it look neat. So we're going to skip to line 27. And what we're doing here is using escape sequences. And what those are, they are basically, they're going to help you display output in a manner that you want it to be. So you can see here that we're not using the print line statement. We are going to create a new line. And how we do that is we use the terms with a backslash and a certain letter. Now there are many of them, and \n creates a new line. So this is the same thing as saying ln, if I can type, ln without that. But I'm going to show you what that does. So we're going to take that out. So it's going to say who let the dogs out, and it's going to skip to the next line, and it's going to say who. Try to say that without singing. So we're going to run it here. So who let the dogs out, and who. And once again, this is going to create blank lines. Now, here's a couple other escape sequences I'm going to show you. You can do /t, a // a backslash quotation. In this case, we use a backslash quotation because you have to wrap it in quotations. So it's kind of hard to figure out, well, how, if I wanted to use a quotation, how would I use that? And this is how you use escape sequences. So backslash quotation, and then the statement you want inside the quotations, and then you want to close the quotations. So if we run it here, you can see that the quotations are showing at the beginning and the end. So another example is a tab to kind of make it look neat in the way you want it to be. So we're going to use \t, and it will use that tab, and it'll blank over to the right and go put the word that you want more to the right. And I'll show you right here. So these are the dogs we have caught: Dalmatian, Boxer, and a Lab. And you can see that it uses that space. Now if we go down to line 44, numbers work the same way, but you do not have to use the quotations. So if we run it, you can see that it just says 101. But if you do use quotations, it's not going to change anything. It's still going to print 101 how you like it to be. But if you use words, you do have to use quotations. That will cause red squiggly lines, and we don't like those. That wraps up the basic fundamentals of output, and I'll show you the focus points.